it's Stefan. I'm going to talk about rapidly growing a software business. So, how do software development companies or dev shop owners succeed in getting consistent big deals? Well, before we start going over the various methods where people maybe fail or they succeed, it would be good to list out the key areas where we should be paying attention to. For example, why most lead gen in this industry fails. So diving into this, put simply, software services are not usually a necessity for most companies. They're more of a convenience in most cases, unless you're a startup that just raised your pre-seed, your pre-MVP, Series A, B, just got funding in, and you need to scale up your systems or whatever. Then it's more like oxygen, and yeah, those are usually good companies to target. But on average, you will be hard pressed to convince someone to invest in software without some kind of valuable offer or clear ROI. For example, when AI was first trending, anyone could have offered it and probably gotten some deals quite fast, but that well is drying up a bit fast. Another one is blockchain, for example. Solutions around that are still a hot topic, and it'll only be a matter of time before that well dries up a bit too. And there'll always be a new one. So to succeed, you must have a valuable offer or clear ROI. Saying in your offering, I offer software services, I offer, web development, design. So many companies are doing that right now, and it's just not going to cut it in terms of growth, whereas it used to. But for example, you want things that work. So, bespoke automation for a niche, finance teams and SMEs doing result X, saving 10% of the time, and potentially result Y outcome. That's important. RPA systems for corporate pharma companies that streamline output by 200%, boosting revenue by 1.5x. AI tool for solopreneurs that writes your weekly goals based on your calendar, making you 3x more likely to hit monthly targets. So these are all pretty, bold statements that will elicit good reactions out of the right people. And that's what you want. You want the right people giving you their, hard-earned money to make a lot more in future because of your ability to customize your solution around their specific need. So, we put winning offers like these together based on your unique solutions and abilities, so you don't have to wait through countless hours of tests and iterations, just like we did for Utopia, who we generated $82,000 for in the course of 1.5 months. And that is recurring. So we can just get people that on demand all the time. So the next important point to remember is target audience. Obviously, business owners are a good start. They're the key decision maker. And if they need software, you don't need to really check with too many other people after them, potentially whoever's in charge of the product, who will potentially also try and stop you from implementing your product or software solutions, which is why it's always worth getting buy-in from them in the right way, because it's usually their job and they'll be kind of triggered once in a while because someone else is suggesting things that they should be doing, for example. But not everyone knows the best way to do things, so you have to come across in a way that you're open-minded, you've got this, and you're very, interested in just getting their potential feedback as well on it. That way you can collaboratively solve the problem fast. For example, I've made the mistake of being too honest with people about what they need at first, and they just disappear because they don't, in the sales process, in the sales cycle, you don't oftentimes want to tell people what they need first. You just tell them what they want first, and then down the line you start telling them more what they need once they've invested or committed time and resources to your process. So the gist of this is, don't give too much away without understanding someone's buying temperature. Warm signals include asking for price, committing to future calls, dedicating time to the area, or involving key decision makers in the process for you. Converting leads. So obviously another hot topic, which isn't that important if you do have some experience in doing sales yourself. Referrals don't count, right? They're quite easy closes most of the time. And we're not we're not doing referral stuff right now. But if you haven't, then having a grasp of this area is pretty crucial. For instance, I hear time and time again about founders without sales expertise trying to hire salespeople, and the dynamic can get quite messy. It's important to know that if you're not a people person, salesperson, and you've had much experience in that area, and you either have to kind of just lay things down in terms of, I don't know what I'm doing here, I've got to figure this out, or compensate by building a system that sells things without needing you to actually do sales. That could be, for example, a landing page where you write a video sales letter that does the selling, and you don't actually have to talk to people because they just go to your landing page and they buy after that. But people don't usually buy things that are that expensive from landing pages like that. So yeah, if you want a B2C product, this is probably the way forward. If you want a B2B service or product, probably not the way forward. And you're going to have to bite the bullet on that and learn sales yourself, or just be open-minded to hiring salespeople, for example. So, for example, I've completely altered my approach based on lead to lead during my sales and our company sales strategies. There were cases of me closing each and every person quite differently. One person I closed by calling them twice a day for multiple days in a row. Another person I closed by just not doing anything at all and just responding to emails and then saying okay and asking for the payment. And then closing on the first call I ever had with quite a few people. That works too if you can manage the dynamic pretty well. Maybe give a guarantee there just to get them over the fence. Yeah, all of these different things go towards converting leads, and there's a lot more than this, but yeah, this is the basics. Finally, you want to as a business owner, as you're growing, you want to have a keen eye on what's going on in terms of sales versus delivery. You can only really focus on one of those areas well at a time. You can't really divert attention to both, because delivery often involves technicals and very nitty gritty stuff, whereas sales involves more lighthearted, optimistic, relaxed demeanors, and they're often quite conflicting. So you want to make sure that you don't want to do both at the same time. And if you do, they're very segmented. You do your client delivery work on a Thursday, Friday, or 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. daily, and you do your sales activity from 9 to 12, and that this is sales mode now. And then when you're doing fulfillment delivery mode, you're like, this is delivery mode now. I've got to have this type of brain. So just segmenting those kind of attitudes while you're growing is important. So yeah, and obviously just making sure that your talent will stick around if you do start hiring, making sure that dynamic is sustainable and seeing their growth. Because if you can picture their growth within your company, then you can see them going a long way and sticking around, and they'll want to stick around because they know that you've thought about them for the long haul. So yeah, and if you'd like to learn more, feel free to book using the link provided or click here. Thanks, and I hope you have a great day.